All right, you ready to roll?
Yeah, ready.
All right. What's up, y'all?
What up?
First episode of TDM, Talioto Decision Makers.
Yes, sir.
We excited. To go on a new adventure with you guys. We got a couple of questions here. Sure, you want to just get right into the questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Question number one. This comes from. Oh man, this question hurt my heart. What does Talioto mean? All right, so Talioto. That's my Hakuna Matata, if you would. That's yin and yang. It's so Tally. That's more of the yin. That's the softer side. That's the going in. Oto. That's where the energy comes from. That's going out there, that's conquering. And when those things come together, it's magic, it's beautiful. You know, anything happy, you know. Let's just use a sports example. In the midst of a play or whatever, it's all that chaos. If you ain't never been to a practice and they throw you on there, you don't know what's going on. But if you practice, you drill it. Even with all of those disruptions that the defense is trying to do, that play comes off magically and you got a touchdown. Talioto. It's just chaos and order coming together and making beauty. It's just going on adventures of life, you know?
Tally, the process, Yoto,
Ah!
the action.
Right there. Right there. I like how you put it, just like that. Going off of decision makers, how'd you come up with that?
Decision makers, man. People, man, it started out with, people coming to me with questions like, doing certain things like in an extreme fashion. Going from one extreme to another, that is wrong altogether. So the decision makers came from like just making that one decision, whether it's waking up an hour early, to get ready for work on time. Waking up on a Sunday, prepping your meals for a couple of days. Just small, minute decisions that make a lifestyle, become a lifestyle, and then making those changes, knowing that you don't have to go from one extreme to another. You don't have to starve yourself. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. So decision makers is just a process, a slow, gradual process, working towards your goals. So that's where that.
It's all about the micro decisions to get to that macro picture.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Got a little Talioto too.
Yeah, it's not as cool as his, but y'all get the point. So.
Man, hey, I didn't even. Talioto, that came from freshman year in college. We was on top of we was in the Arkansas wilderness up in the Ozarks, and we went camping. We took a ukulele. We was by the campfire. We had some stuff to sip on and all of that. And we were just sitting out there. It was past midnight. No telling how late it was really. And one of the homies was just strumming on the ukulele, and he goes Talioto, Talioto, and then ever since then I just kept rolling with it.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
cool.
it just became a way of life for me.
Okay. So camping, you do a lot of camping?
I love camping. Yeah, actually just came back from the Ozarks again along the Mulberry River. That's one of my favorite spots to go right now. But yeah, I try to go camping or go on some type of like wilderness trip like every 6 to 8 weeks just to like reset.
Okay.
Hit a reset button for me.
Yeah.
I like getting out there in the wilderness.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that because I'm from Kingfisher, and me being the only black guy out there. There's not too many of us, but anyway, I mean, I grew up fishing, camping, hunting, so I can definitely relate to that. So it's definitely a reset. As soon as you out, something about the wilderness, being out in nature, just it's soothing. So
yeah, the last trip I went on, somebody I consider a cousin, it was her first time going. Javi, shout out Javi. And she went with it was her and her girlfriend. She loved it. Like she kept playing. She's a little pyro,
Mm-hmm.
but I guess it was one of the first times to start a fire from scratch. So it was kind of cool showing her how to do all of that and everything. And then, because the river was right there, it was a slow stream, so it was nice for them to get in there and see, you know, what it's like to be in like fresh water. And,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
That's dope.
it was nice. It was nice. Can't really complain. One of the questions that I do want to get to real quick is the stretching one. I think I'll let you take that one first. How do you feel about stretching before, after? Like, how important is each one to you? Like, what is your philosophy on the stretching?
Man, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Stretching is always one of those things I used to put off all the time. Like, okay, you know,
One of these?
yeah,
one of these
yeah.
real quick?
Just,
All right, I'm doing
all right,
it.
like, you know, let me grab some dumbbells and kind of swing them around, you know, get ready for my workout. So it's always been one of those things that I didn't treat as serious as it needed to be treated.
Yeah.
But I've realized now that I've been taking it more serious that it's helped a lot of my functions as far as full range of motion, which is important. Full range of motion, whether you're working
Yes.
out chest, back, from the longest origin to the shortest origin is very important. So if you're stiff, you know, you're having troubles bending at, you know, trying to do a deadlift because your hamstrings are tight, your lower back, it means a lot. It's gonna hinder your the changes you can make. It's gonna hinder your results you're gonna get. So man, stretching is very important, and I got to the point to where I'm stretching before my workout.
Mhm.
I mean, I haven't got it serious as you have. I mean, do you stretch after?
Definitely got to stretch after.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's a process. I'm going in the right direction. So, like I said, stretching is very important. Don't do what I did and take it for granted because it'll definitely hinder your results.
Piggybacking off something that you said about range of motion, guys, when you are sore, do not shorten your range of motion. Like, you know, squat day and all of a sudden, you know, you're changing your step a little bit. No, go through your full range of motion,
Yeah.
work through that soreness.
Always.
As soon as you start shortening that ROM, that is where your ROM is going to be, and it will start to get a permanent thing. So definitely you want to work through that soreness. One thing that I will say that helps after a hard day of lifting, do some plyos. So like, let's say your legs are heavy, they're feeling sore. Hit some jumping jacks, maybe some Mary Catherine's, jumping lunges, something like that. That's assuming that you're at that level. So like, let's say that you're not necessarily you're still on the low impact phase. Something that you would want to do is so let's say that you did a squat day. So then the next day you want to do quick pauses. So you come here, boom, boom, bounce. That elastic motion right there, that's gonna knock out some of that soreness. Now, as far for me, the way I like doing stretching before my workout, I do a dynamic stretch. So you know, those are like your Franken walks, your windmills, stuff like that. Especially if I'm gonna lift heavy or I'm going into a strength or power phase, because doing static stretches, it actually does affect your performance in a different manner. Static stretching is more for after your workout. You know, those are the stretches that you're holding, you know, coming right in here, boom, that'd be after a workout. Before the workout, boom, hitting that static stretch, your high knees, your butt kickers, stuff like that. You got anything to add to that or anything?
Not really. Stretching is important. Don't forget to do it.
And then when you got a sore chest, I have not found anything to help with sore chest. I can't lie to you there.
I just take it. Some of those pains you just gotta take.
Yeah, now the legs, hitting those plyos, they help the legs. Maybe some plyo push-ups might help, but they didn't for me. You said that your clients usually ask you like.
So I get a lot of questions asking what weight to use. And this is, I mean, that's a broad answer, I know.
Loaded question right there.
It's a loaded question. And first of all, it depends on your goals. Whether you're trying to do heavier movements because you're a power lifter, or just grow a certain area, so more isolated movements, like a bodybuilder would do. Or you just do like a circuit type, CrossFit type training for cardiovascular endurance, things of that sort. So, I mean, it varies, but I would say, like, if you're just coming in here to, let's say, put on muscle, I would say have keep it like at least a 10 to 15 rep range, as heavy as you can go while still controlling the weight and using full range of motion. Because if you're not using using full range of motion, you're not controlling the weight, then why are you even lifting? That's important. So like I said, I would say 10 to 15 reps, controlling the weight, you're using full range of motion.
Piggybacking off of what he was talking about, like it even, so let's just go with the power lifter thing. That even matters like what phase you're in, because you're in the muscle building phase. Your rep range is a little bit higher, your weight's a little bit lower. You're at like 70%, and when I say 70%, that's usually a 1 rep max, and you find that you don't want to max out very often, but that's just the weight that you're able to move just that one time. I actually prefer a 2 to 3 rep max, just because I found it to be safer. I found it to be the form doesn't break down, especially like on the deadlift and the bench. When I go for, go ahead.
Exactly. I mean, like you said, when you're doing the 2 to 3 rep max, your body is used to moving heavy weight more, what do you say? It's used to moving that heavy weight at a more efficient way. Like if you're just doing it one time, then the next time you go to max, it's gonna be, it's just gonna have take your body a longer process to actually engage and be like, oh, okay, I'm moving this weight again. So that I think the 2 to 3 rep max out is probably best.
Yeah, like the 1 rep thing, that's just more like a bragging right PR type deal.
Yeah.
Like, man, when I'm going all out, like if it was do or die, like how much weight can I actually pull? Like that's the only time I'd actually do like a 1 rep thing. Other than that, I would pick a weight that you could do, 2 to 3 times, and then move that around. And then from there, so like if I was gonna, so the person, like let's say the person was asking, if I was gonna build you a program, I'd start you out by building up your stability and building up your endurance. So I'd find your 2 to 3 rep max, start you out at about 60 or 70%.
Hello, man. Hey, this is the new trainer here. His name is Bono.
There's a camera right there.
Yeah, there's a camera here. He's camera shy. Typical dark guy with white teeth.
Hey, right there.
Pearly
right
whites.
My bad.
You're good. But yeah, I'll start you at that 60, 70%. We'd be moving that about like what he was saying, no less than 12 times, trying to get you to move it about 20. After your stability and endurance phase, I get you into a hypertrophy phase, where now you're still sticking about that same same intensity, but now we're going about 70 to 80%, and you're lifting about 8 to 12 reps, 3 to 4 sets. As soon as you finish with hypertrophy, we're going straight to strength. This is where it gets heavy now. You're probably not going to lift the weight more than about 5 times. 8, that's just 8 would be rare, but 5, that's a little more common. And I'd have you doing I start you off at 5 by 5, and then we drop down to about 3 by 6, and then we go 3 to 3, and that progressive, and I do that about 2 weeks at a time.
And to touch base on him talking about going heavier on the weight and doing 2 to 3 reps, rest periods in between sets also matter.
Yes.
It takes a lot of mental focus, just a lot of mental clarity to actually get ready to get under heavier weight. So longer rest periods are a must when moving heavier weight.
Yes. One thing that is a very common misconception, people think that when you're lifting those heavier weights and all, and you're just building up that muscle. That's false. You're building up your motor neurons. You're building up your nervous system. You're building up, your mind, body. Like that's why you need to be focused, be in your workout. A lot of the fatigue isn't necessarily just the muscle itself. It's your nervous system. Like your muscle might be able to go another 3-4 reps, but your nervous system is just breaking down. Nervous system is something that's very overlooked. So what I wanted to piggyback off of what he was saying is when you're like, let's just say that you're not really on a program or whatever, you just want to know like, okay, what should I go in there? What dumbbell should I pick up? Pick up a dumbbell. I like to say, a number that you like to move. I like to stick with something like 25, 35, 40. Like when I'm doing like a fly or something, I like to do 45s because I got a 45-pound plate when I go to the bar to make 135. I like to be able to move that. I usually stick with like 35s because I know I can move that, and I want to be able to do that same dumbbell through the whole workout, whether I'm doing shoulder press, bicep curls, an overhead press, a row. I like to be able to stick with that same dumbbell and it still be a challenge, but not break my form down. So that's another thing I like to think about when I'm picking out the weight. Anything else you could think about?
I mean, it's pretty good. Pretty good. No.
Yeah. Don't let your ego and your pride get in the way. I know that's a cliche, but
I see that all the time. I mean, especially at some of these bigger commercial gyms. I'm not gonna say any gym in particular, but I mean, I see people all the time walking around with their chest out, throwing some weight on the bar, not using full range of motion, just doing the most pretty much, and not getting any results from that. So don't be that guy, don't be that girl, all right?
Yeah, don't be that person.
Yeah, don't be that person. So
Yeah.
what's the next question? What's the next question?
Meal timing, like how often should I eat? That's a very common question that I've been getting asked a lot. I'll go ahead and take the lead on this one.
Okay, cool.
As far as how often you should eat, my philosophy is you shouldn't go more than about an hour hungry. That's not counting some. This is excluding people that are doing intermittent fasting. That's a whole other topic. But let's say that you wake up at 8 and you're not doing it again. This is not including anybody intermittent fasting. But let's say you wake up at 8. You've been taught that you eat breakfast. If you're not hungry, you don't have to eat that breakfast. But if you're like me, I'm the type of person I've probably in my life ate 100 or less breakfasts. Breakfast. I probably eaten breakfast 100 or less times. I'm just not hungry in the mornings.
And I'm at the other end of the dang. I'm at the other end of the spectrum. I can't go without breakfast really. As soon as I wake up, I'm the hungriest. So a bigger breakfast is very important to me. So I mean, there's different ways people eat and people strive better on. There's no set ways. It's just however your body reacts best. But there is, as soon as you get that first meal in, though, there is a time period where you have to start eating all your other meals right after that.
Yes. One thing we think breakfast as like certain foods and all it is. Breakfast is exactly what it says it is. It's you breaking your fast. For me, I usually break my fast like 11:30 noon. I actually haven't even broke my fast today yet. I just haven't been hungry. And you don't have to, your breakfast foods and all of that, they don't have to be, your eggs and bacon and all of that. Like for me, an avocado, I usually eat like a sandwich. It's on wheat bread or flatbread, and it's avocado, egg, tomato. It's very fatty, very high in the fat and protein. But you don't have don't get into that. What's the thing that I don't even know the word that I'm trying to think of, but don't get into that trap of, oh, I have to eat breakfast, I have to eat lunch, I have to eat dinner. No, those are just things that we've been taught growing up, and they're not necessarily what's right for everyone. My thing is don't go more than about an hour hungry. So let's say you eat breakfast at 8. You start to feel hungry at about 11. That means by noon you should be eating. Eat at 11:30 if you have to. And no, it doesn't mean that you're eating every 2 hours or every 3 hours. You're eating when you're hungry.
And to touch up on the eating often, eat. What am I? I just lost track. Preparation. So when you have let's say a scheduled day, you're doing this, you got to do that. You got a meeting at this time. Make sure you plan ahead. Like I said, we touched on it earlier in the show. Prepping on like a Sunday and prepping a couple of days ahead of time, or having shakes, protein shakes.
Speaking of shakes,
Shakes.
there's a question on here about some shakes. We're gonna get into.
Yeah,
it
we're gonna
later.
get into that a little bit later. But yeah, so if you have like random meetings, your job is sporadic. You're a nurse. There's going to be times where you have to take in a shake. So just prepare for those times. Don't get in that situation and be like, oh, I should have did this or I should have did that. You kind of get a couple hours leeway of what's going to happen. And if it's sporadic, just have some protein shakes ready.
Yeah, piggybacking off of what he said, one of the most important things and one of the most overlooked things about nutrition and eating is planning. You need to plan your meals.
Preparation.
That doesn't necessarily mean that you fully cook your meals for the week. It just means, so let's do Sunday, Thursday, because that's usually what I do. Let's say Sunday you prepare some chicken, some fish, and all of this. You cut up some of the vegetables. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to cook it that day, but you're getting it prepped. You're saving yourself time. Like, just think about how long does it take you to to cut up your vegetables, to thaw out your meats, and that's before anything is even going in the oven. Like, to season your food.
Yeah, that's usually a longer process than actually cooking the food. So
That's what meal prepping is. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have that food cooked. Personally, I don't like having my food cooked and stored in the refrigerator for more than 2 days. I just feel like the nutrients and enzymes, everything is just it's leaving. So that's why I usually cook Sunday and Thursday. Actually, I cook about 2 meals for 2 days on Sunday, and then I'll cook another 2 days Wednesday, and then I'm re-prepping Thursday for the weekend. But planning meals is very important. Like he was talking about, like if you have a meeting at 1 and you're going to get hungry before that meeting, make sure that whatever you had before that meeting, make sure that you're leaving enough time for you to get in some food. It might not necessarily be a full meal, but get something. An easy snack that I like is I'll get some Greek yogurt with some granola and almonds. I love almonds. I love pistachios. Just little snacks like that, and then can't stress enough. Just plan.
And if you have a desk, if not even necessarily an office job, no matter where you are, always have some kind of snacks on you, just in case. Whether it's walnuts, any kind of nuts, pistachios, Greek yogurt. Like he said, he likes to snack on Greek yogurt. Peanut butter. Peanut butter is not the best choice because it's dense in calories, but it's better than eating nothing because at the end of the day, your metabolic rate needs to be constantly working for you to achieve your goals overall. You want to have a high metabolic rate, so you have to eat consistently.
And then going off of what he's saying as well is, if you're not hungry, don't. This is not talking about. This is in general, not talking about people with specific goals. But if you're not hungry, don't stress about, oh, I need to eat, I'm gonna lose. No, like your body's gonna tell you whether or not you're hungry. And you'll start to see, like, as you work out, your hunger level's going to change. It might go up, it might go down. Yeah. More often than not, it does go up for a little bit, and then it'll kind of plateau out, and you'll start to see, you'll be able to listen to your body. One thing you'll notice is you'll crave different foods. You won't start craving that junk anymore. You'll crave stuff like you'll get a taste for like a red meat, or you'll get a taste, and it's going to sound weird, but you'll want like a vegetable. You'll be like, man, I want I want broccoli, like I want that leafy green, and like it sounds weird, but it happens. Like for me, like there'll be times where I want like even if we're going to a restaurant or somewhere, I'll look for somewhere that I know is gonna have like some broccoli or something because I want that. I'm craving that.
Your body gets used to the routine, it gets used to that balance. So yeah, you start craving, weirdly or not, things like broccoli.
But going back to the main thing is try not to go more than an hour wanting food. After that, you start to go into a catabolic state, and if you're trying to gain size and gain mass and get put on more lean body weight, you don't want to be in catabolic state. What was the next one? So talking about diets and everything, what do you think about keto?
Keto. Here's my thoughts on keto.
Oh, so popular keto.
It's not for everybody. There's benefits to it. There's some things that aren't beneficial. But overall, I mean, I think it's a good diet, especially for people that have a hard time controlling their carb intake. What I mean by controlling your carb intake is you just get off track. I mean, whether it's your first couple meals you have oatmeal, you have white rice, and then for lunch you all of a sudden you want a burger. It's fine because it has a beef patty and it has bread. No, that's not okay. So keto is good for that people that need to be restricted. So and it's simple. You guys know what the keto is. It's high fats, moderate protein intake, and low carbs. When I say low carbs, anything under 50 grams. It varies from person to person. I mean, a person could have a higher metabolism and get away with eating 75 to 100 grams of carbs.
Didn't you say that you was on keto?
Yeah, I've tried keto before and I liked it. My energy levels, they were low at first. I mean, it takes like 3 days to go into keto. So my energy levels were low the first week. Then they leveled out. Then my mood was a lot better. It was consistent. I knew what to expect from keto. I didn't ever wake up feeling groggy. After you have a cheat meal or a day of a lot of carbs, you feel like you're tired. You blame it on work, and it's usually the carbs or sugar you took in. So keto was it was good. It was good for short term. I wouldn't recommend it long term. A lot of people can't live a lifestyle off of keto, because everything revolves around food. Whether you're going out to, kick it with your friends on the weekend, you're having a family reunion, a birthday, whatever. Birthday cake is one of the most sought out things in America. We all got to have that birthday cake. So you can't. The average person can't base a life around keto. Okay.
And now you're another one, but most people, even like athletes like yourself that I've found that get on keto, they tend to get off just because they saw that it wasn't something that they were able to maintain. What I'm going to use to piggyback into the next thing is like not just keto but diets in general. Too often it's used as like a noun. Oh, I'm going on this one, I'm going on that one. No, diet. It's a verb. It's what you take in every single day. Water is part of your diet. Like what he was talking about with like yogurt, that can be part of your diet. If you drink Coke, that's part of your diet.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that should be part of your diet because I don't think you should be drinking pop at all. Just a personal opinion of mine. I don't know if you share that. I'm sure.
Same belief. Kool-Aid pop, even though Kool-Aid's good,
Man,
you
Kool-Aid
can't be
is
drinking
good.
it.
You cannot be drinking all that extra sugar. It ain't doing nothing for you.
Nothing.
But yeah, diet is not just something that it's not something that you do one day or you do for a week or something. No, it's everything, every day. It's a verb. It's anything that you put into your body, that's part of your diet.
You gotta make it a lifestyle.
Oxygen is almost part of your diet. I mean, we don't think about, but you need oxygen. Boom, that's part of your diet. You're taking it in every day. Anything that's coming into your body. I will go as far as to say, you know, your medication, like if you if you're having to be on medication, or if you're taking vitamins and all of that's part of your diet. Supplementation, that's, you know, you're supplementing your diet. So a lot of us have to supplement our diet with medicines. Not so that's part of your diet. Anything that you're ingesting, anything that goes through your digestive system is part of your diet. But like for me, like keto, I see it as a very good tool to help people develop into this lifestyle. I don't see it as something that I tell people like 6 months because of what keto does to the body. Like it does have negative effects when you're in when you're in ketosis for too long. You start to mess with your kidneys and your liver. Your body's not meant to be in ketosis forever. There is benefits to ketosis and there's negative drawbacks. I mean, that's just with anything in life. You have to be talioto. You have to be balanced. Too much water will kill you. So like keto is not bad. I would not say it's bad. I would never tell somebody, oh no, stay away from it. But I just let them know, like, I have never been able to find somebody that's been able to make a lifestyle out of keto. They usually cycle it. You know, they'll be on it for 3 months and then they'll get off for a month, or they'll be on it for 6 and go a couple of weeks off of it.
And I know a couple people that, you know, they prefer the keto. They stayed on it mostly year round, but like he was touching up on, they also cycle off of it. So let's say they're doing 8 weeks of keto, you know, 2 months on keto. There's about a 2 to 3 week period, maybe sometimes a month, to where they go back to reintroducing carbs to the body. And it's not something crazy because, as you know, when you're on keto and you try to go straight to carbs and like a moderate carb diet, you just gain weight. You gain unwanted weight. Your inflammation goes through the roof. So when they do the transformation over back to the adding carbs in their diet, it's usually a low carb diet for you know, a week or so, and then they start gradually up in the carbs, and then they go right back into keto. Another good thing I was going to touch up with keto is I did notice I have a lot of lower back pains and inflammation buildup in my lower back. So when I did get on keto, that inflammation was almost completely gone.
Nice.
I wasn't holding on to near as much water, so my body was a lot more functional as far as me not feeling a certain type of way, you know, me feeling certain types of pain. It also helped with my joints. I'm guessing it's from all the fats that keto has in it, whether it's avocado, coconut oil, or whatever you're eating when you're on the keto. It helped out with my joints. So the extra amount of fats helped with my joint lubrication. So
Yeah, that's so. Let's just go ahead and talk about fats, man.